reading, writing, passing exams, making first class is less than 25% in totality of why you're in the university. Beyond knowing how to do something or knowing what to do, more important is how do you do it. And what do I mean? I'm saying that for whatever you study, and now we're going down to application of what values are and how we can maximize value. For whatever you do in the university, don't fail to understand that you didn't just come to school just to read and pass. If you read and make a first class, I made a first class in my first degree at the University of Nigeria in Soccer. But who I am today had little or nothing to do with that first class. The first class is good, I'm not against it. I am one, and I am proud of it. But the point is, what will make you a better person after school goes beyond your grade in school. And that is why one of the things you must know as a student is, you didn't come to school just to read. You must also learn to expand your social circle. Any course you are studying, learn its practical application. Not just the theory. The theory will earn you scores in exam hall. The theory will place you first in class, but it will not place you first in life. Your first class will place you first in your class, but there's no guarantee it will place you first in life. What will place you first in life is your ability, one, to apply what you are learning. Any course you are learning, what you get out of what you are studying. Your ability to, one, adapt, you must adapt. Your ability to apply what you're studying is what will make you a better person.
Welcome to the Doxa Sensi podcast. This is where we share the thoughts and voices of the wise. I still remain Nemeka Levinus. With me here is Prof. Dan Weibo. Another day, sir.
Yes, it's a new day, a beautiful day, and I think it's going to be a good day. The reason is because we are going to talk about something that I love so much.
Okay.
So to our audience, I say welcome to the podcast. Again, It is for education of the public.
Okay.
And we hope that the information that we transfer will benefit our audience across the globe, because this is not just a local setting.
Yes.
It's a global audience. Whether you are from Africa, across Asia, Europe, North America, Antarctica, even Australia, wherever you hear us from, you are part and parcel of what we are doing. I hope you get something. Thank you.
So, Prof, harnessing values in the university from the student's perspective. Let me break it down.
Okay.
For me, what I consider value is probably what you can do better than certain persons in a particular moment. That's my opinion of what value is.
Okay.
It's emphasis on in a particular moment.
Okay.
So with regard to you being a professor, having been in the whole system, what is value in the walls of a university? Because knowing that maybe a course rep, or let's say a brilliant student, can help a particular set of people.
Okay.
Teach them, help them pass exam.
Yeah.
In that moment, it might be said, to be an asset. Yeah. Is it valuable enough to transition into something else?
Okay, so with respect to your question, you're asking about harnessing value, maximizing value as a student.
Okay.
And your question is, what is value from a student perspective?
Yes.
Now, I want us to, first of all, establish that all our discussions is geared towards students.
Okay.
Because as a university management staff or something, or basically, whether it is university or polytechnic or monotechnic, the principles are the same.
Yeah.
Just the names are different. And the essence is the same. It's about learning. It's about empowerment. It's about getting to be a better person. So, value for a student, I love this topic for the fact that, one, I've been a student all my life.
Okay.
I'm also a teacher. So I don't just do what I teach what I do.
Okay.
So both are correct. So value for a student is nothing but anything you do that positively adds to who you are.
Okay.
When you leave your work, leave your family, and you get into a new environment, the essence of whether you're in university or monotechnic or polytechnic, whatever it is, even in secondary schools, the essence is the same. It's about learning. The degree and the extent to which you learn might differ, but the essence is similar. Increased knowledge, showing integrity, showing respect, showing compatibility with others, commitment to learning something for a long time. That's what value is. Now, I want every one of us who are watching to understand that as a student, I'm speaking as someone who has studied and teach people who are studying. So from both sides, I know. It is simple. The essence of going to school is not just for learning to pass exams. It also includes anything you do that positively adds value to your life.
Okay.
Including, there are people who at home, they are very lazy. But it's in school that you learn how to wake up by 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. And you know that I have lecture by 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And that lecture must start by 8. So if you go by 8:05, you're already late. And probably there are no seats for you if you're in Nigeria. Now, I want students to understand that when you are, the challenges you face in the university, your ability to overcome those challenges is what might translate your life later.
Okay.
Let's say your challenge is you learn to manage a small space. Maybe in your house you have a very big mansion and you have a very big large room, more than this studio. But in school you have a very small space as your own. You are now learning to manage space. What are you learning now? You are learning human management. You are learning resource management. You're learning to understand that in your house you have 5 pots or 20 pots that you can use and cook, but in school you have only 3 or 4. So you have to learn how to turn your soup from one pot to the other pot just to make it. So you are learning to manage what you have. It is not a suffering process. Studentship is not a suffering process. It is a betterment process.
Okay.
It is a process that will make you a better person. Now, note, let me speak on a specific thing that everybody will agree with me. And that is the fact that one of the primary essence of going to school is to learn to read and learn to write. Learn to be an expert in a particular area. But let me also shock you, this one you might not agree, that reading, writing, passing exams is less than 25% of why you are in the higher institution. I repeat, I said, reading, writing, passing exams, making first class is less than 25% in totality of why you are in the university. Beyond knowing how to do something or knowing what to do, more important is how do you do it. And what do I mean? I'm saying that for whatever you study, and now we are going down to application of what values are and how we can maximize values. For whatever you do in the university, don't fail to understand that you didn't just come to school just to read and pass. If you read and make a first class, I made a first class in my first degree at the University of Nigeria in Soka. But who I am today had little or nothing to do with that first class. The first class is good, I'm not against it. I am one, and I am proud of it. But the point is, what will make you a better person after school goes beyond your grade in school. That is why you see some senior lawyers in this country and all over the world who did very poorly as undergraduates, but they end up becoming excellent legal practitioners in years to come. The same with medical doctors, the same with other professions. You see people, maybe they study music, and in music class they're not so good, but when they come on stage after graduation, you will barely believe. And that is why one of the things you must know as a student is, you didn't come to school just to read. You must also learn to expand your social circle. One is learn to apply. Whatever you are studying, learn to apply it. What do I mean? Any course you are studying, learn its practical application. Not just the theory. The theory will earn you scores in exam hall. The theory will place you first in class, but it will not place you first in life. I repeat, your first class will place you first in your class, but there's no guarantee to place you first in life. What will place you first in life is your ability, one, to apply what you are learning. Any course you are learning, listen to me, as a student, myself, and a teacher, I want you to know that whatever you are studying in the university will place you first in class, but there's no guarantee it will place you first in
My
life.
life.
What you get out of what you are studying, your ability to adapt, you must adapt. Your ability to apply what you're studying is what will make you a better person. So when you go to school, that is why I also laugh at people who, you grew up in an environment, you did your primary school there, you did your secondary school there, and then your high school, as you call it, for another part of the world, and then you go to the university in the same city. No, you're a local champion. Yes, you're a local champion.
Okay.
How do I mean? You've not increased your value. One of the things I enjoyed going to school, apart from the book, what I enjoyed was meeting people from other places. As an undergraduate, I had practically every tribe in this country in my class. The Hausas, the Benis, the Igbos, the Yorubas, name them, the Ijos, anywhere. That association was very important because it gave me a perspective of what Nigeria is about. When I went overseas, it was even more diverse. I was a class where almost every country, I had 2 US citizens, 3 French citizens, 1 UK, 1 Canadian, 1 Spanish, 1 Italian, 1 Swiss, 5 Brazilians, 2 Israelis. That was the first time I met somebody who was a brother to Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. Yes. So the class was diversified. And me as a black African, trust me now. Expand your social circle. The place you are going might not be as diversified as my own, but wherever you are, don't limit your student days.
Prof, can value be narrowed down to mean skill set?
It's more than skill set.
Okay.
It's more than skill set. Skill set is more of what you can. There are some values you will get that are not skilled. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say, let me also again say this. Value is not just skill, it's more than skill. For instance, let's say you grew up in a family and probably you lost your parents very early. And if you're watching me and you lost your parents, I share your parents, I understand. You lost your parents. So you had nobody to teach you accountability.
Okay.
And you somehow you struggle to get into school. And now you have classmates. And probably you are elected as class rep. And then they contribute money, class money to you. You now learn accountability. Before you were not accountable to anybody. You just do things the way you want to do them. So one of the things that the school value system has added to you is your ability to know that what is given to you, somebody will require you to give details of what happened. That accountability is not necessarily a skill set, but it's a value you've added to yourself. You also learn to be truthful among your friends. One of the values you learn in school is the value of I don't know. Ooh. Yes. There are people who find it very difficult to say I don't know. There is nothing wrong by saying I don't know. I don't know. Teach me. I'm in history class. I understand the history of pro-colonial era. Teach me. I'm in medical class. I don't understand the biochemistry of enzymes and how drug interaction happens. Teach me. I'm in chemistry class. I don't understand how to balance chemical equations. Teach me. I'm in management class. I don't understand the psychology of consumer behavior. Teach me. In school, one of the things you will learn, even the ability to say, I don't know, is a value system. Because by saying I don't know, one, you are making yourself, you are showing a sign of sincerity. Because most times, when people say I don't know, they are being sincere. It is actually people who say I know everything you say, I know. Those are people who are not being sincere. So I'm saying that the values you can get as a student in the university goes beyond just skill. Skill is part of it. And is where I was almost going to before you drew my attention to this. By saying that one of the things you must also learn as a value is to practically apply whatever you are learning. How can my idea in a history class be translated to something practical today? How can my mathematical skills, x plus y equals to 5, x minus y equals to 1, how can that value of x equals to 3 and y equals to 2? Yeah, that's the solution. I just provided it. How can that value be translated to something meaningful? Are you with me?
Yes.
I'm in law class. How can what I get as a little student of undergraduate student of law be translated to something of societal relevant? So anything you are studying that have no practical application, you've not understood that thing.
Prof, I can argue that because there's a dilemma with value as a moral compass.
Okay.
When you talk about saying I don't know and the likes.
Yeah.
Then there is value. When do you transition into being valuable as a person? Because that is when people want to work with you. That's when people want you around. That's when you earn money. I think there's a dilemma with people knowing which of it, which is value for yourself, which is moral compass, and valuable as a person.
Okay. Well, if you say the word value is not the word valuable.
Okay.
By the matter of fact, the word value is a noun.
Okay.
The word valuable is an adjective.
Okay.
I hope my English is correct. In that context,
Yes.
what I'm saying is, before we start measuring it with the issue of money, because now I know where you're going to,
Yes.
whether that will translate to money, let me say that the primary reason of going to school is not necessarily making money. Like, okay, I'm going to school now. What I want to study is how do I make money? So I go out of the street, look along the gutter, you will see a piece of paper, pick it up, that is money. No. It is what you learned, you apply, that you satisfy needs, called utility in economics. It is that utility that people will pay for. Again, it boils down to what I was saying at the beginning. That is, you learn something. How can that thing be applied to a place where it becomes relevant?
Okay.
Where it becomes valuable and people can pay for it?
Okay. Okay.
The reason people can sit down and watch what they are doing now is because they feel that we are making some little sense.
Yes.
That sense is value.
Yes.
That is the only reason why we tell them, okay, please subscribe. And they will do that to add value to what you're doing. So the point I'm making is, for a student, value goes just beyond, can what I'm doing make money for me? No. What you should ask yourself is, can what I'm doing add value to the site?
Prof, now, I like the last statement. Okay. Can what I'm doing add value
to the society?
So there are courses that, in my opinion, handicaps a student, but a lot of people are afraid to question the system.
Okay.
So if, let's say, you as a person, you're writing JAMB and you're studying, let's say, history per se, all due respect to whoever is studying history.
To historians in our midst.
How do you, because even if you're a good historian, is there a chance that you become valuable? How do you practice it?
Okay.
When the root is, in my opinion, shaky.
Okay. Let me before I go there, let me list some few things.
Okay.
I've talked about applying what you study. I've talked about expanding your social circle. Don't come to school and you think you're in your house. Socialize. I didn't say join cultism. I didn't say so. I said socialize. Get to know people. Join groups. Also, number 3, develop skills. I know of a young lady. Some of the things she learned as a skill in the university, not what she studied, is what gave her a job. And they continued in that line of job. In short, from the day she graduated, she never touched her certificate or anything relevant to it. She did something else. Don't say that person is making a mistake. That you're going to school to study marketing does not mean you must die in the marketplace. You might end up doing something that had nothing to do with marketing all your life and is acceptable. Not just in this country, all over the globe. Because I said this platform is not a local platform. It's a global platform. All over the globe. You can study something, and from the day you got your certificate as a student, or the day you get your certificate, you will never make reference to that certificate again till you die. It's there.
Okay.
So learn soft skills. Do you know patience is a soft skill? Being patient is a soft skill.
Does it earn you money?
It does. It does. Do you know why people do Yahoo Yahoo? Yahoo Yahoo. People that do what they call, they want to cheat people.
Fraud.
Do you know why people do kidnapping? It's a lack of patience. You know why people gamble? Gambling.
Yes.
It's lack of patience. Because instead of investing your 100,000 that will earn you 25,000 after 2 weeks, you want to gamble within 30 minutes, you make 200,000. That's impatience. And the process of trying to do that, you've lost money. There was a case I handled somewhere as a professor in the university. I saw a young man who, his classmates, they were all in first year, and the classmate said, I don't know how to pay my school fees, can you help me? I said, okay, bring me money. And the guy gives the money to him, gives him his ready number to go and pay the money. Do you know what? That money disappeared. What happened to the money?
Gambling.
He gambled with the money. He wanted to gamble with the money, make quick money, pay the school fees, and take the profit. He lost the money. He couldn't recover it to pay the classmate. So the classmate didn't pay school fees. He himself had not even the money on him to say, okay, even if he's enjoying it. That's impatience. So patience is a skill, is a value, is a virtue.
Okay, Prof. Let me. Okay.
Also,
yes.
One of the things I advise for students all over the globe is, as a teacher, I've come to notice that is why, if you look around, you notice that those who are into social sciences, law, economics, they tend to do more in the society. Not because those in pure sciences and medical sciences are lazy. No, we do a lot. But I noticed that those guys are more diversified. So if you're in school, learn to diversify. You are in science, why not join a club involving those in faculty of arts? So you learn something different. You are in marketing or in business management, why not join those in engineering? So you learn something new. You are in engineering, you are into mathematics and calculations, you barely speak English in your class. Why not join those in English and literature? So you learn something new. Those things, it will not be in any textbook, but you get to learn them. There are guys who are in engineering, and you see them do fantastically well in debates. Not because they are taught, but because they learned it from others. So socializing and expanding your horizon is one of the beauties you can get. So now let's get to the point you're trying to make.
Okay. I would digress a bit.
Okay.
So are there, because we are entering the digital era.
Yeah.
So are there limitations to professional courses, which are like law, medicine, and and the likes? Are there limitations, especially because there are AIs that can rival
those things? Okay. Now, 5 years ago, this is 2026, 2019, 2020, 2021, in the whole of Europe, North America, and Asia. And when I mean Europe, I mean UK, France, Germany, Spain. When I mean North America, I mean places like United States, Costa Rica, Jamaica. When I mean Asia, I mean places like China, Japan, South Korea, India, Nepal. The most common topic discussed between 2019, 2020, 2021, anybody can go and check it. One of the most common topics discussed on social media was one thing: is AI taking over our jobs?
Yeah.
For people in Africa, you might be hearing it for the first time, but it is something that has been considered in other parts of the world. In short, we are far behind. If you're hearing this for the first time, I want to tell you are far behind. AI is doing a lot. And they're asking me, for traditional professional courses, that's what you're looking for.
Yes.
Are there going to be limitations?
Yes.
My answer is, for static, the word is static, underline it.
Static.
For static, traditional professional courses, if you study it statically, stationarily, without amendments, you're going to face challenges in years to come. How do I mean? You're a medicine, you're a surgeon. The normal surgical process, manual surgical process, is now being overtaken by robots.
Okay.
So there are robotic surgeries. There are also surgeries done by laser. I have seen with this my little eyes where somebody's surgery was done and no blood came out. Something was cut out of the body using light. No blood came out. No blood. No blood. No blood. Let me stop there. So you're asking me, for those professional courses, you are going to be limited. So for parents who push their children And the next question you might be asking yourself is, what then are the recommendations parents should make, or what are the expectations? For maybe you are trying to write exams to get into school.
Yes.
Anything you're doing today and you've not thought about computer, AI, internet, digitalization, anything you're doing today, I want to inform you, there's bad news. The bad news is you are far behind. Are you with me? I'm challenged because many years ago, there used to be a process where you have young Nigerian doctors who leave this country and they go outside and they do very well. In years to come, and even up to today, for you to go outside, even as a medical doctor, to do well, you must improve on your skills. What do I mean? The global landscape is shifting. Automation is taking over everything. And this aligns with sustainability and digitalization. Things are getting more automated. Things are getting more digitalized. Even law is getting more digitalized. The era of lawyers carrying big books and quoting laws have gone. Today, briefcases or briefs are in iPads. Senior lawyers don't come to courts carrying big books. You see them with digital materials. And imagine if you're a very senior lawyer, well read, but you don't know how to build a computer. You don't know how to operate a simple machine. You will carry your book, you'll be left behind. So what I'm saying is, there are courses today that for whatever you're doing, any university across Africa, anywhere in the world, that all you are studying is the classical thing without thinking about how do I digitalize them, you're making a mistake. Now let's go back to the point you raised. Someone studying history. If you study history as history, you'll be jobless. You must be able to align your history with digital information. Can you mix up history and digital storytelling? We want to know the history of the world.
Yeah.
But the problem is, that history, if you write them in big books and keep everywhere, nobody will open those books. Children are now using phones to operate. You can't take it away from them. We must learn to digitalize. That is, digitally transform what you studied. So if you are studying history, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, how do I digitally deploy the history? You are studying law. How do I digitally deploy the law? If you are studying medicine, how do I digitally deploy the medicine? For those even in research, it's even worse because the research world has been taken over by AI. There are machines today, there are very heavy machines today that I get your blood, just your blood, alone, and put in it. It will store it, it will extract the DNA in that blood, it will read the frame of that blood, it will sequence that blood, it will tell me every identity you have about that blood, and the final product, that blood will be stored by that machine. Just one press, one single press of a heavy machine. It is that way. So what I'm saying is, you see AI and data science, any parent who wants a child to go to school, think in that direction. Are you with me? Think about healthcare and biotech. But whatever you're thinking, ask yourself one more question. Where does the AI, where does the artificial intelligence, where does the digital era come in what I'm doing? Are you with me?
Okay.
The other one is, think about renewable energy and sustainability. Think about cyber security. Okay? Think about good. For those who are studying psychology. Now, somebody will say, Prof, psychology what? It is simple. There's no longer psychology today that is being done if you cannot analyze data. You get better psychological information today by data analysis. So it is no longer just study psychology in school and I have a BD in psychology. Have a degree in psychology and data analysis. What about robotics and aerospace? In the US today, one of the most prominent courses, apart from things like law and medicine, is mental health. It's psychology. People's mental status and states are changing quickly. And that is being advanced by analysis, data analysis. which is AI. You can't separate data analysis and internet and information digitalization and artificial intelligence. So those are the areas we should be looking at. Be very careful about something. Things like, when I was very young, bookkeeping. I hope JAMB have removed that thing from JAMB. This thing. Bookkeeping was a course in the university. Bookkeeping. Those things will not go anywhere today. Administration. I don't know if you studied them, I'm not criticizing you, but I'm saying that as you learn about them, ask yourself, how can I apply them in the digital world? In the digital era, where will your bookkeeping be critical? In the digital era, how will your basic manufacturing or assembly be useful? In the digital era, how can, maybe you went to school to study customer service. Ask yourself, by customer service, how can I corner them to obey the law of digital expertise?
Okay, Prof, you've been in the system.
Yes.
So you can speak with authority with regards this particular conversation.
Okay.
Do you think the Nigeria university system is ready to offer these things as a course? And I'm not done with the question. Whereby somebody goes to apply to study cybersecurity as a course in itself, because the average conversation around skill set, when you talk about it in school, the average student thinks is more like a facade. Because
what do you mean by facade?
Because they are more interested in the certificate in itself. So only few persons think, oh, they should do this. And at the end of the day, they're always exceptional. So do you think the system now, is it designed to accommodate studying cybersecurity, these skills in itself as a course?
Okay. Let me make reference to, I think, NUC, National University Commission of Nigeria. I think some weeks back or month back, they approved the easy artificial intelligence as a course.
Okay.
Now, let me say this. If I were a parent, I wouldn't advise my children to go studying static courses. Static. And the word is static, please. Don't misunderstand me. I'm going to name some courses now. Don't think I'm saying that they are bad, but I'm saying that they should be modified. The method of teaching of those courses should be changed completely. Because the new era we are, things have gone, they've left us behind. We're behind. Courses like static course, like a static course like philosophy. Without, what should you ask yourself is, philosophy and what? Will it be philosophy and data logic or digital logic? I will agree. But philosophy alone, I will not agree. Law, just law, I will not agree. I will agree with law and something like tech pivot. Law and intellectual property. Law and cyber security law. So there must be something connecting that I'm studying with the age, the current age that we are. I mean, I won't just study marketing only. I will study marketing with emphasis in consumer appreciation and consumer behavior. I will study marketing with emphasis on audience insights and consumer psychology and data appreciation. I will study marketing with emphasis in integration of AI and market expansion or customer-based expansion. I will study that. I won't study anatomy. And if you're studying anatomy, please don't kill me. But I'm saying just the truth. I won't study anatomy. I will study anatomy with emphasis on AI-powered imagery. So I would prefer to send my child to study AI-powered imagery than just say, go and study anatomy for me.
Are there things put in place? Because if you say anatomy,
yes,
are there things in the system where you can say, okay, I want to study anatomy and AI?
Good. That is the point. And the point I'm going to make here is that those who are in charge of our university system need to wake up. If you compare what we are studying here, where the note that was used to teach my father in 1944 is the same note that they are using to teach me today, those things are no longer working. I'm saying that, let me repeat for emphasis, and I'm very strong on this. There is nothing wrong with the courses. There's everything wrong with the teaching methodology. There's nothing wrong with the names of the courses. There's everything wrong with the fact that we refuse to advance with advancement. Now, the question you're asking is, are those facilities there?
Yes.
The answer is no. And that's why Nigeria is not developing. Because the essence of going to school is not just to have certificates. The essence of going to school is to add value by what you are studying to the society. And what do we now do? That's the question you might be asking yourself. What we need to do is, we shouldn't just, it pains me when our leaders go overseas. They buy all the good things for their families, but they don't buy ideas to come back and share with our people. Because the way schools are run here is not the way they run abroad. Today, our health infrastructure is zero in this country. If you're in the villages like my own, you practically have nowhere to go for medical help. But they forgot that there are universities overseas where medical doctors, they call them rural medical centers or rural medical schools. What does that mean? Let me tell you what it means. Some governments deliberately build training schools, medical schools in the villages. And for you to go there, if other people are paying, let's say 15 naira school fees in medical school in cities, you going to that school, you will pay 20 naira or 10 naira as school fees. But you will write the bond. The bond is that after graduating and doing your housemanship, the first 20 or 10 years of your service year life must be in the village. You must be employed in the village. You must be employed in the rural areas.
Yeah, okay.
The schools are in the rural areas. It is funded by the government. But when you finish, you won't come to town to come and work. You go and work there for at least the first few years of your life. Can't we do that here? So that I can say, okay, I don't have chance to go and study medicine. My parents cannot sponsor me, but I want to be a medical doctor. But I can go to those rural medical schools. And I will go there, study there, finish there, and practice there for some years. In that way, it brings health services closer to the people. Another instance I'm going to draw attention to is when we train nurses, scientists, biochemists, med lab scientists, whatever I call them. What do? There are still people who are not certified to be nurses, but they have the skills. Can't we develop a system in this country where those people are incorporated into our health service delivery? Okay, you don't have the degree to go to school. You couldn't graduate from a UI or University of Nigeria or Lagos or Ahmed Bello as a nurse, but you've learned some basic nursing skills. Can't you organize very mini training systems to improve your skills so that if there are issues of women who are under labor in the rural areas, people like you can take care of them even before the people who are certified will come? Again, you are bringing health service closer. So I'm saying that in this context, we must re-equip our institutions. I won't lie to you. Because this is what I'm talking about. You don't just study them by mouth.
Yeah.
You do them practically. We must re-equip our institutions. Both academic, medical, social, anything you can think of. We must re-equip them. But that, of course, does not happen without a sincere government. I hope me.
Yes.
So we must reorganize what we're doing. The current curriculum we have, as it stands, I will disappoint you. It's not working. It's not working.
Okay.
Take it or leave it. It's not working. We must find a way. The problem you have, let me tell you the problem. You don't know what you don't have. Yes. What are the kind of people who are in charge of our academic system today? There are people who barely operate computers. And we're talking about AI age. You're talking about industrial 5.0, not even 4.0 revolution. And people who head our institutions are people who don't know where the button of a computer is. They don't know the longest key on the keyboard. They don't know. They can't type their names on computer. You can't run systems like that. So for parents who want to send their children to study, the children must not study law and medicine. It's not a must. But let them not be left behind If you send a child to go and study history, I'm not saying history is bad, or something somewhere. Ask yourself, what is the relevance of that? Because the world is going behind. When, at least for some parents who will be watching me, when you were 15, 16 years old, there was nothing like Facebook.
Yeah.
Today, even the child in your house, if you drop your phone anyhow, we will start browsing the Facebook. If you think you can stop them, you're joking. You cannot. The only thing we can do is to realign them to fit into current trajectory. And that is where the world is going. If we deny it, we'll be denying the future.
Okay, I agree. Information, like they say, is power. So I'm glad we're having this conversation, and I want to talk about something that is quite peculiar.
Okay.
One of the strongest value chain is the Igbo Nwaboy system, where you have somebody train you.
Yes.
How important is student mentorship in the university?
Oh, God bless you. I said God bless you because that's a critical question.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I try to promote as a professor is this issue you just brought up.
Okay.
And I'm going to link it up with the Nwaboy system.
Yes.
I'm also going to link it up with what I've seen elsewhere, outside this country.
Okay.
That thing called mentorship is one of the best things that can happen to any student. When you get into school, you come from your house, the school environment is different.
Yeah.
But elsewhere, you have both staff mentors, student mentors as well. I remember when I went in one of these countries to study. There was someone assigned to me. They called him tutor. Even the local language was the one that taught me. But beyond that, the mentorship process is a process practiced globally, where students have the chance to learn or lean on the shoulders of both staff and their seniors. Let's talk about staff. It is because one is the mentorship process brings students closer to the staff. By coming closer to the staff, they become closer to the system itself. They can share their worries. From 18 years of age, almost all parents lose track of their children because they've gone out of it. They are not in the university. At that point, the only parents they have are the teachers. So the mentorship process in the university is important. It is not just a local practice, it's a global practice. There's no place you go, you won't have, whether you call them mentors, or you call them staff advisors, or you call them instructors, or you call them tutors, whatever you call them. But what is important is that it is a system for leveraging on experience and ideas. What is the benefit? One is that it makes you more comfortable to the system. The fact that you have a staff you can reach out to means at every point where you are confused about anything, you already know who to contact.
Okay.
At any place where you have challenge, you already know who to contact. I remember when I was in the University of Nigeria, in one of those times, in my first year, one of the courses, the course was scheduled to be on Friday exams. By Wednesday, I got a call from home that my mom wasn't feeling fine. I had to leave the university to go home and meet my mom. But before I left, I went to the course lecturer and said, the exam is Friday. I just got a call, my mom is not feeling fine. Is there a way? He said, no, that the exam has been shifted till Monday. So I quickly packed my things and off I go, going home. Maybe I left at home. What happened? They wrote the exam on Friday. I came back on Monday, I was broken. Because there's an exam I was ready for. He took my course advisor. That's where the mentorship issue comes on. I rushed to him. I said, sir, see what happened? He was the one that advised me. He said, since you've not written any exam on that course, go to the lecturer, ask him. In short, he gave me a note. He said, go and give the note to the lecturer involved. The note said, since he didn't write the exams, deregister him from the course. I didn't know that kind of rule exists. Deregister him, remove him from the register. That is, he didn't register the course. Let him write it next day as a fresh course. Because allowing my name to be there means I'll get F. It means I would have failed. And by getting F, I wouldn't have made the first class. So I took that note to the lecturer, and the lecturer did register me. What am I trying to say? I'm saying that I'm encouraging all institutions, anybody who is in administration, to look at the beauty of mentorship between staff and students. We cannot deny our students this. It's a global practice, and it's very critical.
Prof, we can't take away value in itself.
Yeah.
We've been talking about skill sets and all of that.
Yeah.
Thing. Being that you're a product of first class,
Yeah.
does the system in Nigeria reward first class students?
Oh, another beautiful question. The answer is it used to.
Okay.
It used to. People, I remember when I finished from London, I'll keep on calling the University of Nigeria Soccer because that's my alma mater.
Okay.
When I finished, I think 2 years before I finished, Professor Batokolo was the vice chancellor then. One of the announcements he made 2 years before my graduation even was, if you make a first class, I want to be a lecturer. Just write on a piece of paper, I want to lecture and attach your certificate. The university will accept you because you made a first class. The system used to reward, and I want to say and I want to warn that we need to go back to that system where people who excel in schools, if we can pay little girls who are naked on TV in the name of, is it BB Nigeria or BB Africa? Millions of naira. There is no reason why people who make good grades in the university cannot be rewarded.
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that the failure to reward those who work hard in this system is the beginning of our problem in this country. We must go back to reward everybody, including those who excel academically. The same way we will reward others who are technically gifted.
Now that we talked about BB Nigeria, every time these issues have been raised,
Yes.
because it is on par on why we reward mediocrity
Yes.
and we don't.
I wouldn't say that's mediocrity, but I'm
No, I
saying
think
for my own.
In the context of this
Oh,
conversation, it is mediocrity. So why can the university not organize something that is BB Nigeria like, education-wise?
No, there are many contests.
Okay.
Not the one you show your pants, not that type. But there are many intellectual contests
Okay.
in the universities that emphasize excellence. The issue is that the resources available to the universities are not much. And I'm saying that we need to fund our education better, including deliberately funding things like this.
Okay.
Can we have a national university competition sponsored by the federal government of Nigeria, where the best universities in this country contest? Yeah. Whoever wins it wins that award. And if your name is announced that you are the winner for this year, I'm not talking about the one they do in science and that. I'm talking about students.
Yeah.
Let us have. Do you know there are some countries you go to? Universities are rated. Every university is not equal.
Okay.
Every university is not equal. There are countries you go, if you finish from certain universities, just the certificate alone, if you're going for a job, they won't even ask you for interview. Just give you the certificate and resume work. You know why? They trust your competence because of where you're coming from. Can we say anything of any university in this country now? That because you made a first class from a certain university, when once you appear, oh, first class from this university, that's all we need. We know what he can do because of the track record that university have. So I want us to come to a point also in this country where if government can deliberately say, let's organize this kind of contest among universities, whether it's in games or in intellectual. By the way, the number one reason for going to school is to study. Yeah. So why can't we evaluate that studying process by organizing intense academic contests that whosoever wins that particular contest in this country, if you win it, even though 20 years after, if you mention I won this, they will say, you must know what you're doing. Instead, what have we emphasized on? We've emphasized more on politics. Okay? Mm-hmm. So let us pay attention to what matters. If we must grow this country, we must look at merit. We must look at things that matter. We must look at value. And the value starts in the university. The reason you have rogues everywhere in leadership is because we train rogues in the university. That's why they're everywhere.
Prof, I want your opinion on this, because I know few people that I consider exceptional when it comes to talent.
Yeah.
In the university, but they have this thing where they say, oh, why am I going to the university? I want to become a musician. I want to become a footballer.
Yeah.
Does the university reward, or is there room for them where they can excel?
Okay, let me explain.
Okay.
Now I know where you're going,
Yes.
and this is a major issue.
Okay.
The problem is that they see the university as a limiting point.
Yes.
But that's why I'm saying that I will need to reform our university system. Yes, this country needs to be reformed. The university system, and when I say university, please don't misunderstand me. I'm talking about both polytechnics, monotechnics, college of education. That's what I mean. So let's call them higher institutions.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, there are some countries where even the monotechnics and the polytechnics, college of education, add more value even than the normal universities, because of the level of gifting, skill that come from them. So the point I'm making is, we must expand our higher institutions in a way that everybody can be accommodated. In the US, for instance, most of the NBA drafts, I'm talking about National Basketball Association, most of the superstars come from the university system. You are in Ohio College, you are in MIT, this is California, Caltech. Are you with me?
Yes.
The footballers, some of them come from the universities. Why? Because the university is so broad, so expansive, so comprehensive that you can find your niche. That's what I'm talking about, clubs. Outside this country, when you join school, you join your club. What is your club? Like you, that is very short, like a short man like you. You join a basketball club. I wouldn't say tall, you are short.
Yes.
You join a basketball club. Maybe you are in, let's say you're doing psychology, but you are the captain of the basketball team. Before you know, you are drafted.
Yes.
The essence of going to the psychology class is just to get knowledge. You're able to write your name and express yourself. But your real talent is developed. The university system, the higher education system, is supposed not to be a system to suppress your talents. It was supposed to be a system to develop your talents. Outside this country, talents are developed. Here, we've not done so, and we must do so. It is a way forward. Thank you.
Lastly, in the advent of people who want to travel abroad to study, are there courses that they should focus on?
It depends on the country you're going to, and I'll quickly list them.
Okay.
If you're going to the US, maybe you want to go to the US to study after your master's. The US is a center of research-oriented education.
Okay.
But all that research is geared towards AI.
Okay.
Whatever you're doing and there's no AI, there's no digital transformation, and you're afraid of the computer, you're wasting your time. Don't try it. So, if you want to go to the US, think about AI, think about computer sciences, think about business administration and data analytics. Even if you're talking about psychology, instead of studying psychology, go and study mental health. Of course, nursing and medicine will be there. In the UK, because of their system that's very legal, things like law, medicine, pharmacy, biochemistry, research, business management, creative art and design are very crucial. If you're talking about countries like Japan, the Japans are the kings of engineering, the same with China. So you think about mechanical and robotic engineering, think about health sciences, not just medicine, but health sciences, where you do a lot of research. Whether you are into biochemistry, you are into pure chemistry, you are into anything. You know, of course, computer and software. Then, if it's in countries like Germany, the Germany are the king of engineers, the hard men. You must think about mechanical and electrical engineering. I mean, mechanical and electrical engineering, natural sciences, physics and chemistry, biology, and this applied microbiology, biotechnology, bioremediation, biofuel, and so many others. Of course, the Indians are the kings of technology. The same thing with South Korea. If you're going to Finland, you're looking at education-related courses because that's the home of teachers. So what I'm saying is, in all said and done, whatever you're studying, ask yourself one question. What is the link between what I'm studying and the digital world? If you want to make progress. In short, I was telling someone that if I have a child who will not study law, won't study medicine, he must study something related to internet, other computer sciences, data appreciation, data security, data analytics, internet breach. Yes, internet breach. Because if you can be able to breach somebody's internet protocol, he will give you money to recover it.
Prof, I didn't hear this last.
You didn't hear it, but it's true now.
Yeah, it's true.
Let me tell you, by being able to, let me give you a story. Do you know that one of the biggest fraudsters in the US, one Frank, was the man who breached breached the US currency production company, the company that produces US currency. Many years ago, he breached it and produced new currency, the dollar. They didn't know for many years. They were working with him. He was producing dollar, the country was producing dollar. It was many years after he was arrested. At a point, the FBI, they were pursuing him. The man went to Russia and stayed there. The FBI had to delist him. When he returned back to the country, what happened? Instead of arresting him, what they did? They told him, come and be our advisor to teach us how we can be sure that people will not breach our currency production. But the point I'm making is, no knowledge is a waste.
Yes.
But more importantly is, we must build our system to reflect current realities. Current realities is that we've gone AI, we've gone robotic, we've gone automation. Anything less than that, whatever you're studying, you're wasting your time.
Okay. Don't forget to follow us on Doxa Sensi Podcast on all social media platforms. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Prof.
Yes.
It is always informative in your presence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.